What's up, YouTube? Night's Edge here again, doing another maybe quick, I don't know, might be a long review of the Benchmade 940 Osborne. This knife was lent to me by a friend of the channel, Carry and Cut. I'm gonna have him linked down in the description. You guys should go check him out. He is a great YouTube channel. He's got really cool content, and Mike's a great guy, good person. Let me borrow this one and a couple of other ones. I did an unboxing on that a few days ago, and I actually used to own this knife, this 940. It's a really kind of like an iconic everyday carry knife. A lot of firsts with this knife. It's been out for so long, and it's still pretty popular. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. And it's definitely been passed up and outdated, in a couple of different ways. But there's still a bunch of good stuff about it, I think, and there's still some stuff that holds true to just how much of an iconic knife it is. So, just from a little bit, I decided to look up a little bit of information about it, because it turns out, that it is a knife that has many firsts on it. It's one of the first knives to use a super steel, I guess you'd call it. If you look at the steel on it, let's see if I can maybe look at the steel on it. If I can get the camera to focus up here. I don't know if it's going to want to focus or not, but that's S30V steel is the steel on it. S30V is kind of, I mean, now you would say 24 years later, you would say it's kind of like a mid-range steel to a lot of people, not quite a budget steel, not quite a super steel anymore, somewhere in between, but S30V is still a wonderful steel, especially, if it's heat treated properly, just like any other steel. If you got the right edge and the right heat treat on it, it's a great steel. I'm not 100% on Benchmade's heat treat of it. I can't really speak to that, but I know it'll hold an edge, hold an edge for a while, and it's pretty easy to sharpen. Another thing is it was the first to have the axis lock, and also one of the first to have what they would call the reverse tanto, blade shape. I'm sure they didn't invent that blade shape. They might have invented the name of it, but where the tantos flipped over onto the back side of the knife, right? So instead of your sharp side being tanto, the dull side's tanto. A lot of people would call that kind of like a sheep's foot or Warncliffey kind of, I'm not going to debate blade shapes, but and the axis lock. Benchmade's patented axis lock. They patented that whenever they came out with the Osborne in the year 2000. So been out for quite a while, and the patent on it recently ran out. So that's why there's been kind of an uptick in a lot of companies, especially a lot of Chinese-made companies, CJRB, Civivi, Miguron, a lot of companies, and not just the Chinese-made companies, but a lot of other companies are using the crossbar lock, style now too. But Benchmade kind of originated it with the axis lock. So, knife of many firsts, and knife that has been around for quite a while. And I'll go ahead and pull some measurements on it. Overall, you're looking right at, from the tip of the cutting edge, tip of the blade, to the end of the knife, right at 8 inches. I don't know, maybe just a hair under, but right at or no, not 8 inches. I'm sorry, I'm looking at that the wrong way. Right at 7 3/4 inches. Right. If you include the clip that came on it is I believe that's Lynch Northwest that he's got on there. It's a deep carry. It's not the original clip, but the deep carry clip makes it disappear in the pocket. Makes it stick out just a little bit farther, not really bothersome or anything like that, but it would add a little bit of extra length to it. With that clip, you're sitting right at 7 7/8. Without the clip, 7 3/4 overall. Blade lengths, you're looking at 3 3/8 on the blade, cutting edge 3 1/4. Do the blade stock thickness on it. Blade stock thickness, thickest part of the spine. 114 thousandths there. Yeah, right at 114 thousandths. 103 thousandths. See how it's got like that swedge? It goes thin and then back wide again. I guess you'd call that what, a compound grind. Not a full flat, but you know, more than a hollow for sure. You know, that swedge is, you know, hollows out here, goes down here, and then you got the flat here. So I would say, I guess that's a compound grind. Correct me in the comments, please, if I'm wrong about that. Let's see, we'll do thickness on it while I got the calipers out. Yeah, so pretty thin handle. Definitely comfortable in the hand. Good handle. We'll look at the belly of it underneath the edge, right at 28 thousandths. Going more towards the belly that's by the tip. Make sure I got that on there right. 41 thousandths. So not especially slicey knife at all. It will slice. It will cut good. Let's see if I can get some paper out here. I don't know what kind of, I don't know if he's got a sharp edge on it. I mean, it feels fairly sharp. See if she'll slice. Might not slice paper. Might have to do a, yeah, she's kind of dull. Might have to do a sharpening video on that. But I might put a little bit of an edge on it, and it'll slice up just fine. Like I said, I've had this knife before. I had the black version of this, and I really liked it. Sold it a while back. So we got the measurements out the way. Let's see, where's the scale? Here's the scale. Go ahead and get the weight on this thing. 2.8 ounces. Yeah, 2.8 ounces. Pretty lightweight. Whenever you're looking at ounce to inch ratio, you know, cutting edge to weight ratio, really good ratios right there. You know, it's well over the ounce and inch kind of rule that people tend to go by, but really good weight on it. Centered up kind of right. Let's see, where's the centering at? Centered up right around where the axis lock's at. Choke back, that's not bad, you know. So that's where the centering's at on it. Let me go ahead and get the blue jeans out here. Now, this is an aftermarket clip, so all that's going to tell you is how it sits in the pocket with the deep carry clip, which is, you know, these guys make excellent deep carry clips, so it pretty much disappears. Really kind of disappears in the pocket with the regular clip, in my opinion. Whenever I had it, I had the stock clip that came on it, and it was, you know, like it wasn't even there. Really, the aluminum, you know, it's really smooth aluminum, lightweight but strong material for the handle, so that's a good thing. I think this is a T6. Yeah, T6 on that. I don't know why my camera's having issues focusing up close today. Yeah, T6 on the body. I think the thumb stud's actually, yeah, T6 on the thumb stud. This is a T8. A little bit of room, it feels like. Let me check the T10. Okay, so the pivot's a T10. Everything else on it is T6. So that's, I mean, it'd be better if it was T8 hardware all the way around. You know, the T6 body hardware gets kind of aggravating when you're disassembling it, and it does have a good little bit of hardware on it. But if you're careful, use good bits, and you're careful, it's you know, put the right amount of pressure on it, that's not bad. It does have a captive pivot, so that's a good thing. Definitely helps, you know, so you only need one driver for the one T10 for the pivot. As far as hardware, weight, specs, and everything, I think that's about it. We'll go ahead and do size comparisons on it. Let me see. We'll get out a knife. It's kind of like Spyderco's icon, I guess, around the time period. Even though this one came out 10 years later, that's a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 compared to the Benchmade Osborne 940. And that's the Spyderco Para 3 compared to the Benchmade Osborne 940. So you can see it's kind of like in between as far as size goes, more comparable to the size of the Paramilitary 2, with just maybe a hair more cutting edge than the Paramilitary 2 because it doesn't have that forward choil like the Paramilitary 2 does. So compared to that other iconic knife, that's what you're looking at. Spyderco Shaman's definitely bigger than it. Go ahead and get out the Manix 2, Spyderco Manix 2. You know, right around the same size. Definitely more of a broad presence on all the Spydercos. This is the Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 full size knife. Broader, you know, comparable but broader to the broader than the 940 for sure. 940 a little bit shorter also. And here's the Hogue Deca, right? So cutting edge, you're looking pretty close to the cutting edge with the Hogue Deca, and overall length almost identical. And here is the Demco 80-20.5. Pretty good little size difference there as far as how broad it is. This is a really slender, sleek knife. It's a slender knife. You know, that's one of the main. I think that's one of the main things that people like about it. You know, is it's so slender and sleek. You know, when it's closed up in the pocket. You know, I mean, that's what you're looking at. You know, compared to, you know, a lot wider of a presence with a lot of your Spydercos. So I guess that's one advantage that you could say that the 940's got over a few other knives. You know, it is a little sleeker in the pocket. Let me get out I got one Benchmade. I used to have 3 Benchmades, but I sold all except for this one, which this is one of my favorite knives right here. This is the Benchmade Griptilian. So put it up next to the Griptilian. That's what you're looking at. Griptilian a little longer overall, not by much, but a little bit longer. Definitely more broad, you know, with the Griptilian than the 940. And your cutting edge got just a touch more on the Griptilian than the 940, you know, and a lot broader of a blade, and also a lot broader of a handle than the 940 as well. So that's the Benchmade Griptilian. All right, got the weight, got the hardware, size comparisons, and everything. Final thoughts on this, I guess. Benchmade 940, an amazing knife, especially when it came out. It came out in the year 2000. Like I said, it's 24 years old. Just was a groundbreaking design. You know, this axis lock, you don't have to have your fingers in the blade path when you close it, pulling it back. You know, allows for more, a lot more safe one-handed closure. Great. You know, the steel S30V, really good. You know, and I'm talking, you know, year 2000, this stuff was all just groundbreaking in the pocket knife community. And the blade shape, you know, whether or not you got to give them credit for, you know, it's a pretty cool looking blade shape. And I don't know if you would call that, you know, what you would call, they call it a reverse Tano, but, you know, so to me, that's all good stuff about the knife. And plus it's really sleek, you know, it just disappears in the pocket. And I like that aluminum on it. Bad things about it, I guess you could say, are, you know, all the hardware is T6. So whenever you're disassembling, you got to be careful. Oh, the back spacer too, before I forget, this was another thing that I did like about it, was the back spacer. It's closed in. It's kind of originally came with like a purple on that kind of metal that's right there on the back spacer, kind of a purple color. It's kind of, you can still see it. It's kind of worn off. You know, after you have it for a little while, it will wear off over time. It's flashlight, if you can see in there. Yeah, kind of see that purple really good. I always thought that was pretty cool. You know. Anyway, back spacer being closed in from the back, that's good. Keeps pocket lint and stuff like that out a lot more too. Axis lock, I'm not the biggest fan of an axis lock for some reason. I just don't really like it as much as like a compression lock. You can get stuff that gets stuck in here with these crossbar axis locks or whatever, grit, pocket lint, whatever you're messing with. And they do it will kind of make it hard for the knife to open or close sometimes. Not a huge problem, you know, not like a deal breaker by any means, but just something that's there. So as far as negatives on this knife, the hardware's one, you know, it doesn't have a spot really to choke up. Like you can choke up with it like this, but you're not gonna be comfortable because the meat of your finger is gonna be, you know, a quarter inch or more into the cutting edge. And I got large size. I wear a large size glove, you know, average hands, I guess you could say. So that's one negative about it too, is that it's not the thinnest, most slicey thing in the world. Definitely not by, you know, standards. Like if you compare it to something like the, you know, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 or Para 3 or something like that, you know, it's not, it's definitely not super slicey by any means, you know, so that's a downside too. Benchmade's pricing has crept up and up and up over the years. This one's right now, I'm looking at it on Blade HQ. Blade HQ, right now you're sitting at 216 bucks. MSRP is for 240, 216 bucks. So it's went over, you know, from being 180 to 190 to 200 to 216. I guess, you know, it is inflation. And you could also say that, you know, Spyderco's, when you look at them, shoot, let's look at where's this Spyderco Mannix, I think. Let me look up the Mannix real quick while I'm thinking about it. I think the Mannix 2 is cheaper, but I want to be 100% sure. Mannix 2 Spyderco. Yeah, so Spyderco Mannix 2, the regular version of it, is sitting right at 200, so 199 right now for that. Now you can get actually better versions of it, like an M4 right now version they got for 134 bucks. So there's definitely options to get it cheaper than there are compared to the Osborne, you know. But just to me, you know, the price creeping up it's aggravating because I know they're not taking a hit, they're passing it down to the consumer, right? So the pricing could be better. You know, to me, this is not any longer a you know, as much of a flagship knife as it was back in the day when it came out. You know, it's not innovative anymore. Its time's over with. It's 24 years old. You know, it's still a great knife. There's still nothing, you know, wrong with this knife. I'm talking about if you're shopping for a new knife now in 2024, you know, there's a lot of things that could get better as far as pricing goes. Overall, not a bad knife at all. I'd probably say like a 90 out of 100. And it is, to me, a lot of people are back and forth on this. You know, to me, the Osborne's always look pretty good. You know, I've always liked the look of the handle, and I've always liked the aluminum on it, and you know, I've always really liked the blade shape on it. You know, I sold mine a while back, but just sold it just to kind of recoup some funds, you know, and get some money, but didn't really, if I didn't have to sell it, if I didn't need the money, I would have kept it in the collection. But you know, overall, like I said, I'd rank it maybe an 88, 90 or something like that. It's a pretty good knife. Very dated on some things, but on some things, you know, they kind of have stood the test of time. So anyway, that's about it. This is the Benchmade 940. I'll link it down in the description. The Blade HQ link, I'll have it put down in there. And Carry and Cut also, who let me borrow this this amazing knife. I appreciate it, man. And thanks for letting me review your knife. And also, y'all go check him out. He'll be linked down in the description too. And like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content, because there's definitely gonna be some more put out there. And till then, I'll see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching.